Good afternoon, everyone. It's an afternoon session, and till our moderator sort of gets online, I thought I'll take a quick poll. How many of you have already composed a poem using ChatGPT? Just one, two? Okay. How many of you have used ChatGPT to draft a submission? Okay, many. So, Tarun, over to you. That's the context for us.
Hello. Hello. So good afternoon, all of you, and thank you for coming for a post-lunch panel. In my all experience in all these years, I have seen most people vanish after lunch. So I feel very happy when I see people attending a post-lunch panel. I think the topic is interesting to draw you all. I will make an attempt to make it interesting and worthwhile for you to come here today. In my last interaction with a managing partner of a leading law firm of India, he said, Tarun, I have a dilemma. I said, sir, what is your dilemma? He said, I am paying 18 to 21 lakhs for fresh juniors who are joining me, L1 associates, and we give them work, and we expect them to work, but we realize that they're using AI apps. And we tell them not to use it. They say, sir, no, we will not use it, sir. We will work. But then we find out they're using it. So then we request them again, please don't use it, but then they use it again. So then we figured out that whatever we tell them, they're going to use it. So I said, what's your problem if they use it? Because it makes work more efficient. They said, Tarun, my problem is client confidentiality. Many times our clients' data goes on these open AI apps, and the clients may object tomorrow. So I found a solution. I'm going to have a closed AI just for my law firm. It's a lot of expenditure, but I think it will be worth the while. So that was my first introduction to this law firm, the old managing partner himself going for training sessions for the closed AI that his law firm is implementing. And he said that, Tarun, what I am seeing it as that it is inevitable that the younger generations will use it. We have to learn to use it, and it has to be something that we can do it without the client being compromised. So that's my first anecdote for today. In fact, I would urge each of my panelists to share their anecdotes of their first brush with AI, and then we'll go to the questions. Over to you, ma'am.
Actually, my experience has mostly been in publishing and legal publishing as well as social sciences. And I find that in the midst of all this enthusiasm for AI, we understand its practical applications. We understand that it helps you kind of minimize the tedium of looking through large, bulky contracts and so many documents. It's difficult work. I've done it as a young lawyer myself. But there are many issues that are arising for publishers, because ultimately publishing is about communicating original thought to the audience, to your target audience. And there's a feeling now arising, like people writing poetry and songs through AI. There's a feeling arising that you don't have to use your own mind so much. My greatest learning from this area is that actually whatever you get through the AI, whatever the huge amount of storage of information it has, ultimately it has to be finalized, it has to be properly understood and analyzed by the human mind. There are now so many dangers that are associated. I'm sorry to start with the dangers, but since the mic was handed to me, the dangers that AI is now leading the world towards. Some of you probably do know that some of the top scientists who have created AI, for example, Geoffrey Hinton, who won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 2024, he's the godfather of AI. He is now frankly saying that he is terrified because there is no real control over AI. And he fears the day when AI can code and replicate itself and, and even subjugate human beings. So that is the environment that, I would plead that young people like you really need to be aware of. And this is nothing less than the nuclear power. And ultimately, the world had to come to an agreement about nuclear power, and possibly this may be the solution. I will ask my colleagues now to continue.
Point well taken. We'll go to Vivek for his intervention.
Well, thank you so much, Tarun. It's very nice to connect with you on this platform, and I hope you are enjoying the sessions here. Well, one thing is for sure, that this is here to stay now that we have the AI for last several years, and then it has come into the public domain. Each of us is using in some way or the other. So it is going to stay. Now we just need to rationalize the use and to understand and see how it can be used to our benefit and not to the disadvantage to the humanity. So each of us has the responsibility, and each of us should share that responsibility mutually so that it is used for the best of the youth. My first interaction with the AI as ChatGPT had been a couple of years back. It was introduced, I think, somewhere in 2022. And there had been already few months passed, and I was hearing a couple of my juniors, they had started using, but at the same time, I was really not having any time. So it was, I think, Ram Navami Chutti, holidays in the Supreme Court for 10 days. So during that period of time, I thought, let me just have a brush with it. So I started chatting generally. So on the issue of Ram Navami, there was some topic. I just talked something about communal, how it is responding. So AI was very nice to say, okay, this pertains to communal issue, so therefore I will not talk about it. So I wrote an article on Times of India on that. I shared my chat with the AI, my first interaction with the ChatGPT on that. So to some extent, it was very good. Today we have been using in some measures, but at the same time, I being an arguing counsel in the Supreme Court, so once I attached a file on a paid version of the ChatGPT, and then I asked that to rationalize, give me the propositions of law that I am going to argue, and collate it with the page number, pagination, the documents I am relying on. So while it was good, around 80 to 85% arguments were prepared by it, but at the same time, it was not able to collate the page number. So for me, it was a failure. So I could not have really relied on. But for other small tidbits and bits, it is very, very useful. So this was my first interaction with the AI. And as on today, what is my position?
Thank you, Tarun. My first interaction with AI, as most of you also would have tried, is through poems. My father-in-law writes poems in Marathi, and he wanted to try it out if he can translate it into English very quickly. So, 15 of his poems in Marathi. Incidentally, ChatGPT works on regional languages as well. I put them, and I asked for a first cut version of the poem in English. This was about a year ago, and it did a decent job, and he further sort of fine-tuned it. But that was sort of first non-work interaction with AI. On the work interaction, before my consulting role, 10 years, I part of a setup called Taxutra. It's a B2B content portal on case laws. So just to give some numbers, in India, every year, there are about 50,000 rulings on just income tax. We would go through all those 50,000 judgments and maybe find out the 50 or 100 most important judgments and write about them. Now this identification of process of which of those 50 out of 50,000 are important takes a lot of human effort. And we were trying to see, so if the case is argued by, say, Mr. Datar, who's speaking in the other hall, it has to be an important judgment, right? So you do a simple word search, but then ChatGPT sort of gave some more opportunities to save the time and bring the efficiency. So that's sort of one context. There are many more, but these are the two sort of examples that come to my mind. Tarun.
Thanks for that. My broad question to the panel will be now, see, India is a young country and the number of law graduates are increasing exponentially. What do you think will be the impact on employment as far as AI is concerned? Because when I speak to law firms, they say we'll be able to do much more work, which obviously means much lesser people. If you could, in your experience, say will efficiency will increase, what happens to employment? Over to you, ma'am.
Well, Tarun, the example that you yourself just gave seems to mean that the firms are trying to create a synergy between young people trying to save their time and energy and the use of technology. If you can have an in-house cloud, so to speak, it seems to be a very good way to keep people in. Because as I keep emphasizing, the human mind cannot be deleted and it has got to be used. These young people need to grow. If they use their minds, they will themselves become senior partners. Otherwise, they will become like clerical operatives, and this is a very serious issue. Today is the era of skill, upskilling.
Same. Well, in my experience, as I have been seeing, there is not going to be any problem in coming time. The dust would settle in, say, in 4 to 5 years' time or maybe 10 years' time. But at the same time, what is happening in today's time is this, there's a lot of casualness which is coming in the attitude of the youth. They are not very seriously planning the work. They are not really committed to the work. They are thinking, okay, AI will do the work for them, and then they produce the work in turn. So those people who are casual will not be able to find the jobs, of course. But those people who are seriously utilizing their resource, this as a resource, and competently building their mind, their careers, then in that case there is no deficiency of work for them. Of course, the scalability at the level of firms and individual lawyers would be a little different. And there's always a lot of opportunities for everyone who is worth. So when there was no cars, there were bullock carts. So when cars came, so there was a problem with regard to the cars coming, and then there would be loss of job opportunities. IT sector come, then during the time of IT, it was the same feeler that people will lose jobs, because this would be it would be taking lot many jobs. So there would be different reflections in this market. It would create a new sort of job system which would require to be filled by the competent people. So my suggestion to all of you would be that be sincere, do not be casual, understand what you are required to do and apply your mind. Application of mind is something which is very, very important. AI can do some of the things, but not everything. There have been people who have been using it very casually. In last couple of years, last year a case came from the US. A lawyer who was having a practice of 30 years, and he produced an argument before the court. And in the argument, he relied on several judgments. And in those several judgments, all the judgments were provided by the AI, and none of them existed. So this kind of casualness is to be avoided. So be sincere. So you won't have any problem in finding a job, in finding career, in finding growth. So it is up to you to understand the market dynamics and find yourself the best space that you can.
Amit, you can take.
So I think it's very early to still predict whether people will lose jobs and so on. We all know when computers came, same anxiety was there, but I think productivity increased. I heard a talk from the founder of Perplexity, which is one of the AI, and he very nicely summarized it. What do we use AI for? We have a question and we want to get an answer. The question could be on legal, could be cooking recipe, could be writing a poem, whatever. I am seeking an answer and AI gives me that answer. As a human mind, once I get an answer, do I stop thinking? No, then I will have 3 more questions, which today I have never explored because I never had a time. So his thought was that AI will eventually lead to more questions because that's the human mind. And extrapolating that to our work and so on, hopefully the productivity will increase. That's my hope. But I do feel personally, heart in heart, that unlike computer, this is a slightly different sort of regime change that's happening, and there will be some impact, on the job. So you have to be talented, productive, as well to keep that edge above. But yeah.
Before we go to our next question, we'll take 2 questions from the audience so that the panel can answer them. Can you, anybody who can give the mic here to these people? Can you come and...
Hello, good afternoon everyone. As we have seen recently, there were many cases in Florida, US, where an AI instigated a person for suicide. Sorry. Are there any moral concerns when it comes to law? Because as Niti Aayog has already explained in his guidelines, that an explainable AI is required, so that it gives the reasons behind the answers it is providing. Thank you.
Did you actually say that the AI instigated a suicide?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that is clearly a legal and a moral issue. The question is, who will be responsible? Who will be considered the person who did the instigation? Is it the creator of the AI? Is it the creator of that particular software version of it? Is it the person who used it to instigate somebody else? And this is a really murky area because it is absolutely unclear whether it is in criminal law or in the law of copyright. In copyright, what's been happening is that the powerful AI engines are scraping the net, taking up text or songs or music or poems, and are molding them, recreating, quote unquote, recreating a new product. Because for them, everything is a product. And in the United States, there are now, there is litigation pending on this issue. And some have been resolved. There was a case of a rapper, Drake, I believe his name is, whose song was redone, remolded into something different, and it was all over Spotify and YouTube. Ultimately, there was no litigation resolution, but it was withdrawn. So I believe, I hope that the immediate action is being taken about this criminal matter. Because there is today no knowing what is influencing young people, what they are being exposed to, and the reality is absolutely terrifying. So there's no immediate answer, but now there is already discussion about regulating AI, just like nuclear power was regulated.
Can I ask a follow-up question? We have seen nowadays that our judges are relying on deciding bail matters or asking for the jurisprudence of the bail matters. So can we trust AI for this process? Can we give an AI the legal and a moral responsibility to decide in such matters?
Can we give who the responsibility?
Can we give an AI the legal and moral responsibility to tackle such questions of law?
AI has no responsibility whatsoever because we don't even know what this entity is. And what Jeffrey Hinton is saying repeatedly is that as it is evolving, it is acquiring a kind of capacity to actually think and reproduce itself. When AI can do code, we do not know the principles or the basis on which it will function. So it really is, the possibilities are terrifying. So till people get together on the people means at the highest levels, country level, science level, to stop it at one stage. This is what a lot of the AI scientists who have resigned from Google and other corporations, this is what they're warning us about.
Well, your question had been that the judges are writing judgments on the basis of AI. Means it's not totally correct, because judges are not required to use AI for writing judgments. It is only the data that is of the judgments produced by the Supreme Court and High Court on their in the engines which have been created for these purposes. So that data is collated and they are using that data. Now there is a technology surfacing, and then right now there is a keyword search system like Manupatra, like SEC Online and all those things. But then Supreme Court is also evolving, introducing LLMs into large language modules so that the contextual search could be introduced in the process. It will take few years. So that would make much more easier even for the trial court judge to find a proposition of law backed by the judgments. And straight away you write your sentence, your query, and then it will provide you a number of judgments and also the relevant paragraphs. So it is not as if in today's time you have to search judgment, read each judgment on the keyword search, and it takes a lot of time. So that way AI is going to be very helpful in coming time. But in today's time, if a judge is writing, means finding something on the basis of AI, it's not, it's ethically incorrect. And the proper action can be taken by the supervising judge of a high court. You know.
Could I just add something here? I recently came across I mean, one of the issues with AI is that its data can contain bias because it is trained on historical data, whatever exists. So in India itself, there is a fascinating study which is based on something called the Hindi legal documents corpus. This is 900,000 cases of the district and sessions courts of UP. And these are decided criminal cases. The three crimes they looked at is dowry harassment, theft, and murder. What the researchers did with this data is that they created a new algorithm. They saw the predicted data, the predicted results, bail granted, bail denied. Then they did their own experiment in which they changed the names of the accused. They changed Sanskrit origin, meaning Hindu names, to Muslim names, and Muslim names to Arabic and Persian names to Sanskrit origin names. What they found is absolutely fascinating. For the dowry cases, they found a very significant amount of bias against Hindu accused. In cases of theft, they found significant bias against Muslim accused. And in a way, thankfully, in the case of murder, they found minimal bias, but still Hindu accused did get bail more often. So this is a critical issue. And the matter is that whatever you put in the AI is what it's going to think about or analyze in its own way and output. You take this in any subject. Yesterday I heard a discussion with Devina Mehra, who is a specialist in securities and exchange matters. She has led a company that helps people invest globally as well as in India. She uses what my friend was just mentioning, the large, what is it called? Large language model, huge amount of data. And when she was talking about her own accuracy, she was saying, you know, basically the output will depend on what you're putting in there. So this is absolutely critical.
Point well taken. The lady wanted to come in.
Oh, thank you, sir. And hello, sir and ma'am. Basically, my question is that being a practicing advocate, I have seen that we have Indian laws on every aspect. On
Closer, hold the mic closer to your.
Okay. So I was saying that we have laws relating to every aspect, but except AI, not a single concrete law on AI. And we have seen that our Prime Minister's participation in the AI Summit, in the AI Action Summit in France, and now he has announced that there will be an AI Summit in India also. It will host the next summit. So can that lead way to an concrete law on AI in India rather than just a declaration or a discussion? Like there is a European code on AI also. That's, I think it's applicable in the European countries. That's like the first law, concrete international law on AI. So can Indian law on AI be formed by way of those conferences or like AI summit in India?
Can an Indian law on AI be formed?
Yeah.
Pointing.
Yes.
Well, globally, right now, this is an evolving scenario. AI is in picture for last few years only. So it will take some time for the laws to develop and then redevelop, and there would be several rounds of it. So right now, there is only that India data protection law, which is here. So no law per se, even globally, there is no law per se, and it is only a development stage. So it will take time for the evolvement because there are many concerns, not only ethical, but also the legal concern. Ethical concern, okay, the data which is AI, which is being used by the AI, is the data which is already, it's a biased data. There are some prejudice of the society, of the creator, or those things are there. So these things would be in the coming time would be addressed. So it is too premature to say anything on this.
But sir, regarding the responsibility and the moral concerns about the content and everything, and even the way it influences people into some actions like homicidal actions or everything. So
So those are covered under the penal action. Already BNS is there. So if suppose any action is not prescribing to the not conforming to the laws of land, then in that case, India has so many. We have IT Act. We have a BNS, which was earlier IPC. So all those, most of the offences are covered. So it is not as if it is not covered. If suppose you have been duped, then there is a reason that you can file a complaint and criminal action can be initiated. But per se, there are other concerns which are not so prominent as of today. But then we would understand those concerns tomorrow because it is developing. So when something is developing, it takes time to really evolve.
So we can say that it's a baby in the cradle right now. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
So it's like how many teeth this baby will have, we don't know as yet. So we only know it has the gum.
Thank you for those two questions. They provided a sort of interactivity to the panel. I think we're out of time, so I would like to thank the panel for joining us today. Maybe we'll continue this discussion offline after the panel is over. Appreciate your joining us. Thank you so very much. Thank you for the audience to come.